What's going on, fam? Welcome back to another video of the Naked Gardeners. Today we're going to be using some of this worm casting tea and kind of telling you the benefits of using it. But first I got to get my little watering can. Alright, so now that we got the watering can here, had to get it out from the greenhouse. Mrs. did a good job cutting the grass on the zero turn. This is the third day that we've been brewing this, and you don't want to brew this more than 72 hours because really after 12 hours, that's when it starts to get the energy where you can use it. After 72 hours, it starts to decrease. Once you turn the aerator, the air stone out of this, you want to use this within 24 hours. We've done plenty of videos of how to make this, so this is not really going about how to make it, but kind of tell you more of the benefits of using this and why we're using this. One reason why we're using this is because we got a little bit behind on our gardening, and we kind of want to put some more life into our gardening soil. Even though we know we have plenty of nutrients and stuff, but we still want to add some more microorganisms, some more life, because some of the transplants that we put in the beds, we were in a hot weather point where the lows were in the 60s. Then all of a sudden, after we transplanted, it went into like in the 40s. The lows were in the 40s, so it stunted a lot of our transplants. So hopefully with this, it's going to give them that that life back. I think we're getting kind of going into the warmer season, so we're going to do this once every two weeks, and hopefully that will put more life back into our system. So I'm just going to show you real quick, and then while I'm doing this, tell you about the benefits. Now when you're applying this, you want to have it where your soil is nice and moist. With your soil being dry, it'll start to wick away. It won't take the water from the nutrients from this as easily.
So we heavily watered last night.
Yeah, and what I've been doing for the last few days has been heavily watering about an hour a day. Now with the worm tea, it helps add nutrients back into your soil. It helps retain the moisture. And last year, it was in the early 90s in May, and we were hitting already a drought, going to the drought season early last year. This year's not been too bad, but we want to kind of prepare for it. So we're going to try to add more organic matter into our soil so we don't have to water as much and kind of protect it from the drought. So that's why we're adding worm tea to our soil. Now most people will dilute this. We typically don't. We just use it as is and just do a soil drenching. And we keep it outside while it's brewing, because just like you're going into a pool, you know, when you first jump into the pool in the early spring, summer months, and that water is nice and cold, same thing is with this. You want it to be the ambient temperature of your soil, so that way you're not shocking your soil. Good thing about using worm tea, it's going to help decrease the chances of you getting pests on your plants, and also help fight against diseases.
What element of it helps with the pests?
It's just the microorganisms that you're introducing into the soil. It's allowing the nutrients to be able to be taken up by the plant, so your plant is not going to be all stressed out.
So it's not like a repellent.
It's not a repellent. It's going to allow the plant to take up that nutrient, so it's not going to be stressed, so that once your plant gets stressed, it sends out that pheromone where the insects are like, oh, I smell something, and it goes and attacks it.
I feel like all of our plants are putting off pheromones right now.
Probably. With this, using this worm tea, supposed to add a lot of good nitrogen into here. from all the worm casting. And so it's going to help with the plant growth, especially with the temperatures warming up and whatnot. So we're hoping that this gives us like a spinach boost, Popeye the spinach boost for our plant. Because when we transplant them when it was nice and warm, and then that cold spell just knocked them all down, hopefully this will kick them back into growing gear. When using this, you want to use it about once every 2 weeks, or you could do it once a month. It's up to you. Any more than that, you're kind of overdoing it. And the good thing about worm tea, you could use as a soil drenching, or you can put it in a spray bottle and use it as a foliager spray. So I'm just doing about a 5-second drench around the soil and the plant. Now, let's talk about some of the disadvantages. One of the disadvantages is it's going to take anywhere from 12 to 72 hours to make. So you want to kind of plan accordingly. If you do this correctly, there should be no odor whatsoever because you're keeping it aerated. You're not keeping it stagnant, and you're feeding it with the molasses and the air. And one other thing I could see about being a disadvantage with this is sometimes people over aerate this longer than it should be, or even if they don't even aerate it, they keep it a stagnant tea, and it just gets real funky and nasty. So you got to be careful with that because you don't want any contamination onto your plants that you're going to be consuming. Now, a lot of people get kind of timid and kind of iffy about making worm casting tea or even compost tea, and it's not that hard. We did a video about that. We'll put that off to the side and also in the description down below. Until the next video, let's grow together.